Hi guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of the Mother's Day mini album. Right, so where we left off last time was we had our guts for our mini album. Okay, so this was where we last left off. So what we're going to do, I don't decorate the outside of this first. I never do. Simply because when you lay it down and you're sticking your pages in, you need to lean on it. And I know a lot of people do decorate the covers first, but I always do mine last. So what we're going to do today is these. And we are going to turn them into this. Okay, so they're all ready to stick into our album. Now I will show you. I've left one particularly so I can show you exactly what we've done. So we take this and move that to one side for now. Let's move that out of the way a second. Right, so all I've done with this, move that out of the way, is I'll get my sheet for inking on. Now with this, it is your own preference. A lot of people will just choose to, I've got my black ink, my Memento ink, Tuxedo Black. Now a lot of people when they're inking, you know, just go around the edges like so, you know, and 90% of the time that is what I would do. But because I wanted these to be black, not white, I actually lay it down on my sheet, okay, and then just still taking the edge of my brush, okay, but I will go in circles to darken up all those edges and just run it up and down like that a few times. Okay, that will darken the edges like so, and then I will just go right the way round to darken all them up. As you see, if you hold that quite firmly with that, you can be quite tough with that, and you know, sort of drag that all the way around. I will go around the edge of the flap like so. Okay, and also I will bend this over that way like so. I can do that edge, turn it over quickly and just run it along that edge like that. Okay, then open it back out. You don't have to colour the whole thing, and obviously, you know, this is not just for these envelopes. If you wish to use different envelopes, any kind of envelopes really, I suppose, you know, you can do the same sort of thing with. And then let's fold that back like that, and then just colour down that edge as well, because this is where it folds back like so, and you're going to take your card from in and out of your pocket there. Okay, so with that done like so, okay, and then just move this out of the way. You have one pocket with your opening there, and then the other side, which looks like so. Okay, and it doesn't matter if you get black on here because you're going to stick paper over it, obviously. Okay, but you can get your baby wipe, the you was using before, and you know, just give your hands a wipe. Right, so okay, so once we have these, and you will need to do that for all of your envelopes, which I have already done. Okay, so then taking my first envelope, what I will need to do is I have already pre-cut all my papers. Now there is a different measurement for the paper this side, what there is on this side. Okay, but what we're going to do is cover this side first, the part where it opens out like so. Okay, now I have measured mine, so we're going to be doing this bit here underneath the flap, and that's where your card is inside there. Okay, so I have already wrote down all the sizes, already prepared, and what I will be doing is I will be leaving all these measurements wrote out on my blog for you, so you can just go over there and print it off for your own use. So for the front side of the pocket, you need to cut 6 designer papers at 5 by 3 3/8. Okay, 5 by 3 3/8. Okay, so I already have all mine cut and prepared already. See, these are for the fronts of my pockets. Okay, so I'm just going to be taking one of these, and then all I'm going to do, using my Memento Black, I'm just going to distress around the edges of this. When I distress around the edges like this, I pay particular attention to the corners. I like there to be a little bit more darker on the corners, just to make it look like it's more sort of aged towards the edges, like so. Okay, now before we stick this down, we need to place a magnet on here, okay, on the flap and on here, because this paper will be stuck down over the top of the magnet. Okay, so I have some tiny little magnets here. If you don't know where to get these from, I will try to remember the link, and I'll put the link in the description box below for where you can get magnets from. And then all I have is a roll here of very tiny little glue dots, and these are quite tiny. Not too sure if you can, there you go, you'll see them. So all I'm going to do is get one side of my magnet and try and pick up the glue dot on one side of that, like so, and I'm going to stick that just towards the edge of my flap, not right on the edge obviously, but towards the edge, and that needs to go over a little bit further, or you can place it right in the middle of your flap, whichever you prefer, like so. Okay, and then using another glue dot on the other side of that magnet, like so. All I'm going to do with this is then bring that over, make sure it's where it should be folding, and then just place that on there like so. Okay, and then very carefully just pull your magnets apart, and then you'll have one on your flap there and one on the base of your envelope there. Okay, So then what you can do, once that is in place, I'm going to take my pattern piece for this side of the pocket. That's already been distressed around the edges, and I think my glue's going to run out very soon. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to place that on there, like so. Okay, and then just make sure it's stuck down around that edge very well of that magnet. Okay, like so. And you can take your bone folder, make sure you don't run this over your magnet that's underneath the paper, obviously, because it's going to make it look like bulk and yucky. Okay, and then for the inside of this flap, what I tend to, or what I prefer to do, when I was practicing on the other one, is I got some circles. Okay, these are, I have measured these are 3-inch circles, and these seem to fit round this flap lovely. And all I've done for that was drew round a glass, round the top of a glass. Okay, so once you've got that, and then as you can see, they slide in there and fit across the top of there just perfectly. Okay, sorry, it would help if I was, okay, so all I've done is that will slide in there and fit across there just right. Okay, and then where this flap actually folds over, all I do is get a pencil, okay, and then where the fold is, I just put a little mark on that side and a little mark on that side, so I know where to cut it off. Okay, so you've got one there and one there. Okay, and then all I'm going to do with that is just take my scissors, my long scissors, line that up from that line to that line and snip that bit off. Now when you've done that, this piece here will actually be for the other side of your paper. Okay, let's put that to one side. So using this bit that we've cut the bottom half off, I'm going to quickly distress around the edges of that, just so you can't see the horrible white edges of the paper. Okay, and then as you could probably see, that will still slip inside that pocket just nicely, and then you also have the paper inside the edge of that pocket, so it's covering up the white. Okay, I keep going over that side because I'm used to my camera being over there, sorry, but that will still slip inside the edge of that pocket like that. Okay, so you've got paper on the inside. So what I'm going to do now is just take a bit of glue, go around the edges of this like so, and then just slip it into the edge of that pocket. Find out where I want it to be placed, and again on this very edge here where I'm placing my finger across here, just make sure the paper is stuck down properly around that edge of your magnet. Okay, and using your bone folder, you can just push down just inside that pocket on that paper like that to make sure that's stuck down properly. Okay, so you'll have that. And then what I do, because I've stuck this piece of paper over the top here, where this pocket actually folds over, from there to there, I'm just going to put a score line using my ruler and something to score with. And I do use these a lot for making flowers and scoring, and these are actually for nail decorations. So I just place my ruler across there like so, and then follow that line where the fold of the envelope is, and just score a couple of times across there like so. Okay, and then that will allow you to bend the pocket like so and stick it down to the magnet. Okay, and then taking my bone folder again, just make sure you're careful of where the magnets are so you don't destroy the paper. Just give that a good firm crease across that fold there so that will stay down nicely. Okay, so then you'll have that, and then when you lift up your magnet you'll have nice decoration inside. Also with the other pocket, what I decided to do, if you can see just inside here, can you see these tiny little bits of white on this edge here where you open up the envelope? I didn't like that, so just taking a black Spectrum Noir pen, all I do very quickly is open up the edge of the envelope, and then just take your pen and just very gently put a dab in each corner like so, and then you haven't got the black on the edges here anymore, the white's showing, sorry. Okay, so that's that. And then what I'm going to do is the other piece of the circle that we cut off, this piece, again I'm just going to distress around the edges of that like so. And I'm going to glue on the back of there. And again, being careful because you have got the magnet underneath the flap, so you don't want your paper to look too shabby. Very carefully place that where you want it to go, and it may help just to open that out and just to push that down around the edges and around that magnet that's stuck on that flap like so. Okay, and then again, if you've got a bit of glue seeping out, just wipe it off like so. So there you have that. Okay, a very pretty envelope. Okay, and you have your magnet on the flap with your paper inside. Okay, right, so then we're going to come to the other side. Now, bearing in mind, you do not want to stick anything down to the other side of this just yet. You won't be doing that until it's actually stuck into your book. But the paper you will need for the back side of the pocket, you will need to cut 6 pieces of paper at 3 3/8 by 1 7/8. Okay, so you'll need, for this side of the pocket, you will need 6 pieces of designer paper at 3 3/8 by 1 7/8. Okay, again, I already have mine all pre-cut and ready. So this is slightly bigger than the front because the front is smaller because of the pocket and the flap. Okay, this will go onto the back here, but not until it's been stuck in onto the hinge. Okay, and we still have to place the pocket over the top here. So for the pockets, I have again pre-cut my card. I've used black card for the pockets. Okay. For the pockets, you will need 6 pieces of black card. They will be cut at 4.5 that way by 2.5 that way. Okay, and then lay it on your scoreboard, and on 3 sides only. Okay, you will need to score it at 1/2 inch on 3 sides. So you will have that, if you can see that. There you go. So you've got 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and then 1/2 inch on the bottom. Okay. And then what I do with that is across these corners, you will need to cut the corners off, because you don't want the extra bulk when you make your pocket. Okay, so where the square was on the corners, I've just cut them off across there. Okay, and then you'll need to fold your flaps back and give them a good burnish. Like so. Okay, so you should have, it looks like that. Okay, so you have 1/2 inch flap on the 2 sides and the bottom. Okay, like so. So it makes a nice little pocket. So then what we're going to do is bring back in your cover with your spine stuck in. Okay, and what you need to decide is which side you want to be your front and what side you want to be the back, and it's kind of whatever side you think looks best. Okay, and then what we're going to do is laying the spines all down one way. I start here at the front, you can start at the back, it's entirely up to you. Okay, now what most people would do is put a piece of score tape across here so it's ready to stick this into, like so. I'm going to use glue again, just because I like it to stick and be stuck permanently. I do not want to be taking it out again, so just very carefully putting my glue across there. You may want to have a baby wipe to hand when you do this, and then taking my envelope with the paper side facing this way, I'm going to line that up across there like so. Just make sure that your one side, this side of your score line. Okay, so your page actually does fold over and it's not going to go anywhere. If you go across that score line, obviously you're not going to be able to fold your pages. As you can see, this is why I don't like to decorate the outside of my albums first, because I like to be able to get this in there and give that a good solid push down across there like so. Okay, and then just taking a damp cloth or your baby wipe again, just wipe across that edge there for any glue that you don't want showing on there. Okay, and then you can also turn the page over and give it a good push down on the other side of that hinge as well, just to make sure it's stuck solid like so. Okay, so then you'll have what looks like that, and this will be your first envelope stuck in, your little pocket stuck in Okay, so once that's stuck in, we're now going to do this side of the page. Okay, so get rid of this hinge and hide this hinge. So what I'm going to do is turning this page over like so. On this far outside edge here is where I'm going to be putting my pocket. Okay, now I'm going to stick my pocket down first, simply because where you've got your hinges on either side like this, when it's stuck down like that, you can then place your paper inside your pocket like so, and it hides those hinges out of the way and looks more professional, so you can't see them. If you find it easier to stick that down first and then your pocket on top, that's entirely up to you, but I don't like to see these hinges stuck over the paper, so I'm actually going to glue my pocket down into place first. So get my glue working. Again, I'm being like very sparingly with this. It does stick and it sticks well. Obviously make sure all your edges are covered well, but try and be a little bit more sparing with this. You don't want too much glue stuck on the inside of your pocket, because you're going to get your papers all stuck. Right, so going on this edge very carefully, it's kind of holding the flap out the way. I will go leaving about a 1/16 of an inch from the edge of the page. Okay, which will give it a nice finish around those edges. And again, take your bone folder, give that a good firm push down there like so. Taking a cloth, obviously, you know, the little glue spills, because if you're like me, I do like getting in a mess and getting all sticky. So then you'll have that. Okay, so this is the front of your pocket, and that's the back of your pocket so far. Okay, and then that's your pocket stuck on there, and we will be placing paper inside there, and then it will be stuck down to cover this hinge as well, which I will show you how to do now. Now, bearing in mind, I'll give you the measurements for these pieces of paper, but depending on how well you've stuck your pocket down, you may just want to trim up the very edge of that piece of paper. If it doesn't slide in nicely, then by all means just trim that up around there. So again, I'm going to take my ink and then just distressing around the edges of my paper like so. I'm not going to bother with the bottom edge because it's going to be stuck inside the pocket and you won't be able to see it anyway. I'll get the lid back on there. So I'm now going to glue this. It may be a little bit tricky, take your time over this. I have been known to kind of lose my temper with it a few times and rip it out, but if you take your time and just be patient with it, because it's now got glue on, it sometimes doesn't really want to kind of go in the pocket, or it will get stuck like that on the flap at the bottom of the pocket. But once that is in there, then you should be able to stick that down without covering your hinges up like so. Just wipe that piece of glue off across there. Okay, and then you have that nicely on there, and then you can just take your bone folder and just give it a nice push down just inside your pocket like so, and there you have that side of your pocket done like so. And then you have, because you've put the paper on after and you put it inside the pocket, you don't have the hinges of the pocket showing on there, and then you get the full use of that pocket as well from side to side, instead of sticking it down and then you have to have your cards and that a lot smaller, obviously. Okay, and as you can see, that fit nicely across there, and it doesn't interfere with the hinge as it comes up across there. Okay, then you need to cut a piece of paper to fit across your pocket. Again, I already have mine pre-cut, and the size you will need for this, right, okay, where are we, back pocket, right, okay, I think that's, I can't see it on now, I've got so much writing on that piece of paper, but I will sort it all out for you after. That is 1 7/8 by 3 3/8. Okay, and this will be to go on the bottom of your pocket here. So all I'm going to do again quickly is distress around the edges of my paper. Like so. This paper I'm using is actually one of the paper packs from Michelle Art Designs. I absolutely love this paper. I will leave the link for that down below as well if you're interested in that. And then place that on top of your pocket like so. And again, give that a good push down like so. Now the one thing I haven't done is to cut the cards to go inside the pockets. So this is the front of your pocket, okay, and then this is the back side of your pocket. So you have a pocket on the back here where you can place like this, a photo mat and a tag for a journaling spot. Okay, and then obviously this is the other side where you've got your flap there, so you can put another card inside there and then decorate the front of your pocket. Okay, so that's that, and you will need to do this for all 6 pages. So what I will do is, I'm not going to do this on camera. I will pop all my pages in, stick my paper on, and then we will come back and make the backs to go inside the pockets, and then inside the pocket on the back. Okay, so thanks for joining me again, guys. Please do come back and join me for the next part, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye for now.